What's up, wizards? Welcome to episode 8 of Across the Horizon, where we dive into the 100 aphorisms that are attributed to Ptolemy and try to dig out their wisdom. So, with this one, the Ashman translation of aphorism 8 is a sagacious mind improves the operation of the heavens. As a skillful farmer, by cultivation, improves nature.
Yes, Partridge says, Sapiens, a wise man, doth cooperate with the celestial operations and doth assist nature as the husbandman in the plowing and preparing his ground. It's like, this is one of my favorite aphorisms because it really, I think, encapsulates very clearly what the function of particularly astrological magic, but also just the astrologer in general is because it says, you can't just do whatever you want. It's not like you just show up and get whatever you want whenever you want, right? And that's the essence of gardening too, is that obviously it's worthwhile to garden. You can grow some amazing things, your tomatoes or whatever you want to grow. But in order to do that, you have to follow the natural cycles of nature, right? And you have to be in tune with those cycles. And you have to understand what you're planting. You have to understand the conditions. At the same time, the gardener is absolutely vital, right? If you don't go in there, because like today I was out, doing some preparation. I'm going to have some flower beds and stuff. And I had to rake it up and get rid of all these old sticks and stuff just to start the preparation for preparing the bed. And it's like, but I had to do it now because if I wait, it's going to be too late. Stuff will start sprouting up. So, there's this whole timing aspect, right? And there's a whole understanding of nature, understanding of stuff that you have to have that. But, so it's a combination of those two things. It's like you have to exert your will, right? But you need to do that, exerting that will in with the, at least some celestial cycles. I mean, not obviously everything. So I love this aphorism, and it's something that I've used a lot, and it certainly guides my practice as far as, well, what's my function as an astrologer? What's possible as an astrological magician, right? It's in cooperation with nature, but also selecting the things you want to be doing. I mean, you get to choose what you're going to plant. You get to choose, when you're going to harvest and everything. But you need to work along with those in the rhythms and orient yourself with the celestial cycles.
Right. I mean, absolutely. It's a matter of also growing what you want to grow, because things are naturally going to come in and fill those ecological niches and those spaces. And we're able to kind of select for that to get exactly what we want. And all of this ties in together with the astrologer as the gardener, which I think is a lovely image, and it's something that I'm very attracted to myself.
Yeah, and you think about it, it's like, for example, if I want to grow pineapples, I can't grow pineapples in Iowa, right? The conditions are not appropriate for pineapples. No matter how much I want pineapples, I'm not going to be able to plant them outside. Now, maybe I have a greenhouse or whatever, I'd have some kind of indoor setup for it. But if I'm going to be outside, it's just not possible. So I'm limited by the circumstances that I'm in. At the same time, I mean, any kind of squash or, potatoes or whatever I want to grow, that's all, up to me to choose it. Now, it's interesting because I've done some gardening. I'm not very good at it. And it's interesting how it's like it's a little bit happenstance. I mean, we tried to do squash and we kept having all these like blight that killed it. So we ended up really focusing on tomatoes. So I had 1 year I had just a zillion tomatoes, and it was great, and again, that's the sense of success that I get from that. I have a similar sense of success from the astrological magic that I do. It's like you need to look out there. Like, for example, when I'm thinking about talismans, I'm looking out now for the whole rest of 2021. And I'm looking very carefully at what's appropriate for those times and setting those times, don't want to overburden my jeweler with too much work, and that's, again, very much like a gardener in terms of okay, what am I going to plant this year? What's appropriate? And use that knowledge. And sometimes stuff comes along and gets in the way. I mean, all of a sudden we have a late snowstorm and it wipes out all your tomatoes. So again, that can happen to the gardener, can happen to the astrologer as well.
Well, that was another quick one, Chris. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one, and we'll see you next week.